So basically, the question is, what you say? Three. Yeah, that's not good. And also obvious. Obvious. Yeah. Okay, so now we just like, what is being registered, this memory region, is also being unregistered because we just remember what it was. And then I don't no longer need the registered memory region to be equal or to include this pointer of this base class here. So can undo passing the size here. That's no longer required. No longer used. The region, memory region owner passes a size, but that size is now element size times number of elements, like it was before. And then we have to begin at the array. The begin must be the actual beginning of the array, yeah. It's down here. Nope. Yeah. What? Now it works. So now we go back to the full test. Yes. Okay, next thing is then I want to have a label above. A label here. I thought I was already adding a label. So that's kind of strange. See, I see something here that looks like what I want. Something with index. Nope, nothing. I think the label should be added to this graph here. It's strange. Yeah, that should be the name. I'll make a label and then I'm not doing anything with it. That's probably the reason. So this label should be added to something. Yeah. It's the index container set that it has to be added to. Index container set is... No, hold on. Maybe here then. Yeah, the auto subgraph. Set label. Aha, there we are. Yeah, yep. Okay, I need to call set label on the index container set that we find in the map. The one time that we actually inserted, created. So this try in place here. If that succeeds, aka if IBP second is true, and then we have to set a label, so I don't really have to do this either, unless second is true. The RBB first is an iterator that points to standard pair, and the second one is then a reference to the index container set. Yeah. That's the full array type. Oh yeah, if you well even if I remove the array and I just take the index type. Oh, I add that myself. Yeah, so this is the index type here, the utils array index a category. But what I really want is that it just is the name of the type def. I guess I should make an specialization that just returns whatever string I want. And if that doesn't exist, it should return this. So this label means that these are all arrays using this index. But it looks a bit weird. You would expect that the type comes first and then the size and then the index. So maybe I need to use a different notation here. How about square brackets? Let me see. I can hardly use a specialization here. A, B, C, D. I think I have to pass the label to the constructor. But we don't want to do that every time. We only want to do that when this is, do it, meaning calling that demangle function. So if the specialization does not exist, I want to delay the demangling until this function. So I guess I could pass maybe just a character const pointer, which is then a null pointer in the case that there is no specialization. Or can do it once anyway. I think that should work, kind of. Let me think. Yeah, it's vague, but vague. Okay, let's pass the label to this constructor in all cases, and then I want to pass string view or a string const reference. I think a string view is good enough. In the end, it's converted to another string that is stored. If this is a string view, that would work. Oh wait. So that would be the demangled name of the index then that we have to pass, not the full label. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, let's make it not a. Let's make it a string view. Need that code somewhere. So now I have to pass the string view as a last argument to the constructor of this thing. Yeah, yeah. No, that cannot return a string view. I don't know. It's just going to compile, and am I missing headers here? What header contains type info? Wait, that's nonsense. I don't need that. You cannot add a string and a string view? What kind of insanity is that? Oh well, let's pass the thing as a string const reference. Now what's missing? No idea. Let's try it out. Ah, probably already existed. Yeah, if I include array, it should already exist. I just have the wrong header, the wrong namespace. Now, purely out of curiosity, I want to know if I can do this without a namespace, and then just specify the namespace front of it. That works. Oh, why not? So now we get a index here. So this is an array that takes a index as index, or an array, multiple arrays that take that. So next, I need an edge, first edge in this whole graph. Because this one is part of main, but this array is actually part of this D. Thing has a name even. So maybe I can add a block here with the name of the array as a label. And then once we have that, I can add an edge from here to there. So that means that we need to associate the array with a node. That node then becomes visible inside D. And I can hide that, I guess, just in, I think I'm going to commit what I have now, because that's what it gets a lot. Yeah, I have to look at it, I'm afraid. Start over. Git diff. That seems nonsense. No, that's not nonsense. Let's include in array.h. So that's good. And that class wasn't used, so I deleted that. This is no longer a template. I added some comments. We don't have a subgraph tracker anymore. Instead, I now have a table node pointer, and that static thing is changed into a map that stores index container sets. And I added a map that maps .id types to node trackers. Yeah, that's not really optimal. I would rather use, in this case, the index of the array, I think. Maybe can I still change that quickly? Just not super happy with it. Yeah, I know the index here. But the question is, of course, do I also know the index when I get there? Call initialize on all elements. For all elements. Doesn't for all elements just run over all elements one by one? Yeah, you see, it starts at 0 and then next element, next element. Container reference I, but that's not what we know. The only thing I would know is that it happens in that order. Still, I don't like to use the .id here for some reason. I don't know why. Actually, it doesn't make that much difference. Except that if I use index instead, let's first make that work. So instead of .id, I'm going to use index. I think I need .id. Never. Nowhere else, I mean, so I can delete that. Mapping index. And then, of course, the map must be changed to use size type as the key. So this is a map of index, called the array index. Yep, and on here we have index, index, and now we use index, and we don't have a .id anymore, but I do have a size type index, which begins at 0. And I want to pass that by reference so that we can increment it. Inside the lambda. Yep, that works. And then I can get rid of the map, because why would we still have a map if the map is just uses an index as a key? So I might as well now use here an array as well. But I don't really want to make this a template. The main reason being actually that we have a static member, and I want the static member to be global and not, if you have a static member inside a template, then you get a different variable for each type. So then if it is a template, we would have multiple static members, which isn't necessarily that bad actually, but in this case it would be per size. Array size, if I have template parameter, that is the array size. Yeah. Yeah, I can make it a vector. There's absolutely no reason to make it a map anyway. So let's make it a vector of node trackers. And just in order. So no, this is not in order. Not necessarily in the same order. So so yeah, I suppose I have to resize. What is it? Reserves for the capacity, right? Can just allocate it the correct size, and then we start with default constructed weak pointers, and here I just assign the actual weak pointer to it. That should work. Although I'm not sure what happens then. Yeah, then this even and even this works, because if you try to take the lock on a default constructed weak pointer, you just get a shared pointer that points to nothing, so that is still working. The only requirement then is that the constructor is setting the correct size for the vector, which has to be dynamic, because yeah, like I said, I don't want to make it a template. It's the last argument, so I can just append it here. And if you just pass element size to a vector as only argument, then that becomes the size, as far as I know, if I remember correctly. So if it compiles, then it works, yes. Yep, that works. So now I just, yeah, it's the same thing, but now we're using vectors and indexes instead of a map with dot IDs. For some reason I like that better, especially for an array. And I was looking at the git diff. Yeah, so I got rid of the map here. No, not that one. I got rid of the map that was here, added here. Now it's vector. So this is no longer a template. And we're passing more stuff. A lot more stuff to the constructor of that base class. Because it's not a template, it is removed. This is removed from the header. Apparently I added a few files. We pass the what now everywhere. Now I think as a string or a view instead of a character const pointer. It's going to be a lot for the diff as well. Here we pass a node pointer in the case that it is a node. That's really ugly actually, but well. Wait, I remember vaguely that I wanted to pass not a node pointer but a node itself. So no longer required. I don't know, maybe not possible. Add array. Okay, arrays can be added now to the graph, to the root graph. Well, I'm guessing that function works. And then we call initialize on elements on all the arrays that were added to the root graph, which then causes the labels to be set. And this adds a new vector to store those arrays in. Now here the what is again changed to a string view a few times. Array trackers was added. More array tracker stuff. Add array, remove array. That's the node pointer again. Oh wait, I renamed that to node pointer. No, here's just node pointer. Some minor thing, but still. Grab sources. Okay. Still a lot. Yeah, the others are already node pointer. Fuck. Yeah, now we are here. Add array. No, wait, I already did that. This one. Yep. Index container set is also no longer a template apparently. Ranked graph data isn't. I got really remove template happy there. Okay, this is suspicious. Well, that's suspicious. If this is here, then really either I want to assert here or the whole initialize is never called. Isn't that a bit weird? I'm already doing this somewhere else. I think this initialize is never called, so it should be deleted. Very annoying. I mean, I'm halfway the div. You can't see where you are in the div. How can I find the div back? What about I search for that one? Might work. So call initialize on all the tables something. Indexed container set.h62. What's not called ever. div index container set gets a label passed. Oh. Oh. No, I'm confused. I have to look at that. Let me see if there's much div left. Yeah, that's no longer a template, so that's removed from the header. That's my node pointer that got added. It has to be passed all over the place. But only if the tracker is a node tracker. And this is a general function that I added to return the value of the what attribute. It's amazing. It's so many changes I made every day. It's every time like pages and pages, and still I hardly make any progress. Is that thing so big? This I would never have thought that in advance. Yeah, that was this much work. Cool, that was the end of the div. And I have no idea what I was looking for, but maybe it's in my mouse buffer. Oh yeah, that thing. The question was, what is this label doing here? Passing a index here. Yep, we don't do that anymore. Please do this, but that's an old test. And that just separately tests the index container set. Hi, post. Vinita Goswami. No, I'm afraid I cannot. Do not recall your name. Joe, yeah, sorry man, I was not concentrating. I was concentrating too much actually, not looking at the chat. Joe asked, do you know how to fix an error unresolved external symbol? Yeah. During linking, yeah, I'll link with it, I would say. I mean, there's a whole list of errors that you could have made, but the most common one, most obvious one is, especially if you're a newbie, I mean, it depends on your level of expertise. You know, if you are an expert and you run into this and you don't understand it, then it could be, for example, that you, oh, no, that was in C. Yeah, but maybe you're talking about C. So I don't know. If in C you forget to include a header, but you use a function, it automatically declares it, but probably or possibly with the wrong signature. So purely by forgetting to include a header, you get an unresolved external symbol. But again, normally it's just not linking with the correct library, the library that defines it. Either that or your signature is wrong. So if it looks like something that doesn't even exist, then maybe you define it, but it's defined differently than what you are using. So yesterday I watched a movie about, well, documentary almost, sort of, about BlackBerry. And at some point, that this upcoming company, BlackBerry, they needed expertise and they didn't have it in house. So the top technical guy said, "Yeah, our devs can't do that." And then, I thought you said you had the best developers in the world. No, he said, we have the best developers in Canada. So then who would be able to do it? Well, maybe the top engineers of Google, of Microsoft, whatever. So then I think he went to Google and talked to the top engineers there, the manager, and he just offered them 10 million. Like, do you want to come to work for us? I'll pay you 1 million right now. No, he said, 2 million. No, I have a contract here, I can't leave. 3 million. Dude, stop. There's the door. 10 million. And then he didn't say go away. So he accepted 10 million. So, blam, 10 million in the hand, just to switch company. And if I see that, then I think, okay, I'm not in here for the money, you know. Money normally doesn't interest me. But it kind of stinks. Nobody ever offered me 10 million. Just to come work for them. Maybe I didn't live my life the right way. I mean, this was a documentary thing, you know? So apparently it's a thing that they offer you 10 million just to switch company if you're really good. At least back then. I guess that kind of thing is still happening. Like you hear Tesla talk, or what was it? Well, Elon Musk talked about starting a new AI company, and he tried really hard to steal away talent from OpenAI and stuff, but did not succeed. I think in the end, I think they did get one guy, and I think the same kind of money then is involved with that. So if you are the top engineer in an AI company, they're gonna offer you millions to come work for you. Yeah, well, I could use 10 million. Definitely. But okay, let's continue working as a open source coder who gives away absolutely everything he does for free without making any money. Yeah, it's a BlackBerry movie. Yeah. On the other hand, I don't have stress. And if you look at that movie, it was non-stop stress, you know, for those people. You always have to work on deadlines, and people put their whole mortgage on the line, and risk jail time and everything. It's super stressful apparently to make a company big. You have to go all in, and then you still need to have luck and a lot of people around you that are all very good. It's insane. That would nothing. It's nothing for me, you know. Not like that. Okay, I just saw this and I thought, where am I using it? And if I'm only using it here, then I'm not really using it. Where else am I using the? If I'm using it anywhere, then it should be while inserting. So here what you call try and place. We'll pass a key and then just one argument, which is the what point, the what attribute. Meaning we're using the constructor of index container set that only takes what this. Yeah, this is just calling that and then calling set level. Nah. So I was correct that I didn't use it, but I could have used it by passing the label here in as the first thing. But then I need to calculate the label, and I only want to do that, really. I mean, it costs CPU time, and this is true, which is seldom, right? So yeah, not going to do it here. So, okay, I don't know, I added it in this div, but I'm not really using it. I don't know why. But let's commit it anyway. So do we status? See any new files I have to look at as well. That's constructor of array memory region owner. Lots of stuff. And then on memory usage, yeah, this is the bulk of the work that I did yesterday and a bit today. Let's add a comment. Yeah, this is also the what made string view. Other what stuff. Only a index. Right, that's committed. Now what is the next step then that I want to do, right? I wanted to... Yeah, I want to visualize the array inside D and also in main. Because the array, these are the elements, but we still need to have an, you know, it must still be visible, I think, in which context the array, where the array exists. Because it's added here only because this array takes a index as index. But in fact, this one belongs to that class. And this one sits, yeah, as an element of main. So it should have a separate label. I mean, the array itself needs a label. I don't want to add that here, I think. So maybe I need a block like this with the name of the array and then a pointer to the elements of the array. And same thing here. So for example, this one, let's begin simple again. Comment this out. You know, just an array and main. It doesn't have a label, it doesn't have anything, but it should be a node. Just like any other variable. Why isn't it? Now, if you look at another variable, for example, this one, B, also no label. This is just a normal value. This is the graph, the root graph that it must be added to. And the what is just for debugging. It's not a label. The label is set by calling initialize. And then the B itself determines what the label is at the last moment, just before generating the dot. For example, B is some class here. And item attributes is being called, and that then sets a label if label is empty, if it wasn't already set. That's one way to do it. It sets it to the type of the class plus the int. This label, of course, it cannot know which instantiation it is. It just knows that it is a B. And it knows what the value of M is here, nothing else. So that is kind of weird, of course. I mean, not really useful in general. So what you really want to do is set a label, but that must then be done afterwards. For example, I could do here set a label, I think, B. Yeah. Now you could also pass that to the constructor here. Maybe looks like making more sense, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's still a user class, so if you want to do that, then you can do that. I didn't add such a constructor to B. And in the end, it would just call set label anyway then. Let's add more of those things. Set label. Oh, well, why not? To not have a label. This just forces label upon it to begin with. That should not happen then. It's just a type. So I also have to extend this to test that label cannot be empty, and then apparently we don't have a label. Let's first find out where the label sits. I could get the attribute value, I suppose. No. Let's go label class. Class is derived from graph, and then adds nothing, just item attributes. Graph. My music is being talked through. The Takes a whole minute before they shut up. And that's then without ads. Those live DJs say don't play music, they just want to talk. I mean, I know I talked all the time, but okay, different. I don't play music. Okay, sometimes I play music and then I talk. It's still different. I don't like it when DJs talk. Yeah, I don't know. I had a set label and then no, I don't have a set label for graph. I think the reason is that I just added that support for explicitly actually for nodes. Probably even for label nodes. And now I'm just thinking, then why is it not added for graphs? I guess that a random graph does not necessarily has a label. It doesn't. No, only a cluster graph should have one. So if this is a cluster graph, then I don't think it is. No, it is not. I mean, it cannot be. That this is, for example, the root graph. The root graph is not a cluster graph. So there is no box around it. So there is no label. Now, of course, you could add a label to even the root graph, but nah. I think it kind of depends on what kind of graph it is. So why do I want to have a label in this case? Well, because it's a class. Okay, so it does not belong in graph. I need to add label support for a class. It's just completely missing. And then I think I just have to compare that to what I already have here, a label node. Yeah, or not. This one doesn't even have anything. Anything. It just adds that we don't have a label. A label was not set at all. There's no set label here even. It's a part of node. Even not here, really. Worst. Okay, I'll go one back. Item templates. Nope. Item. Maybe I should just jump to set level directly because I have no idea where it is. Index container set has it. That is logical. Oh, rectangle node. Okay, can someone explain to me why rectangle node has a set label and it's derived from label node, which does not even have a label because is defined here. Uh, doesn't make any sense. Well, in terms of name, it doesn't make any sense. I think this should go to the base class, to label node. Yep. Let's move it. I think this can also be protected, no? Just an override. So if the label is set, then we don't want to do this, obviously. No, now set level is part of level node. It seems to be more logical. Hopefully it compiles. Try test that first. Still no set level in class. Yeah, I have to add that. Hello MK. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just should add a label here, just like a label node. The why not it grows class in size, however, though, but well, nah. It's an interface that is pretty required, I think. Let's make it protected, just in case. Standard string label. Now I have to redo something that I already did, which is kind of silly, you know, and then you think, base class cannot derive this from something and then do the label node to the same thing. Like I could call it a label. The only problem is that if I do that, then I have no, that is not possible. Well, actually, yeah, it's too much to convert to words. I mean, the point is that item attributes here, that which must be overridden, comes from some base class. And if I use multiple inheritance for two base classes that both need override item attributes, then yeah, it just gets too complex, or at the very least I would get virtual inheritance. Need for? No, I don't want to do that. And then just to avoid code duplication, well, just code duplication is absolute horror, of course. But, well, for now I'll just do that instead of making the whole inheritance stuff super more complicated. So yeah, I just copy my set level, which has disappeared from here. So I need a standard string label, and well, actually I do really need to copy all of this. Ugh. I'm gonna do it. Well, I'm going to duplicate a lot of, well, not a lot of code. Come on, I press Shift V. Oh, I didn't, apparently. So back to class. 19 more lines. What? 20. This is class. I want to edit it here, which duplicates the label that I already had. We don't do that here. This part has to go down. Let's put that here. And this part has to go down as well, and then be merged with the other one that we already had. Merged-ish. Absolute horrible label here. Yeah, no. Well, you can automatically override it because I never saw the class. It's more like a default still. I don't know. Anyway, we don't do the level here anymore. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Ish. And this can be deleted. And now I'm kind of confused why this item attributes isn't calling the one of the base class, but it's probably because there's no base class that does anything with it anyway, so then there's no reason to call it. So yeah, it's kind of strange. You know, it still says C and D in capital and uppercase. Why? Is that what I said? Little label? No. I do set level C, and then it gets overridden with capital C. Why? Where? Oh, maybe in the C clause itself. Yeah, there. Yeah, in this case it's that the most derived class sets it, and then everything afterwards should not override that, and it doesn't. But in this case, the label already exists before we even enter this point. So I should not set it when it is already set either here. And since this is a test, I'm just going to delete it completely, I think. Let's keep this simple. So now they really have the labels that are equal to the names of the variables that they represent. So you can finally also see that C2 is a copy of C. instead of having a C here and a C there. Very confusing. Just like this one. B2 is a copy of B, and then B2M is B2 moved to B2M. So B2 vanished because we moved it. Okay, and then the next thing was I want to have my arrays visible with name, which means that my arrays also need to get the set label thing, and then we can do that, right? So array. I mean, now all the other stuff was done like afterwards. We set a label. Set a label. That's called AS. However, you see now these have nice labels, but these two do not have labels. Those 5 don't have any labels really. I did not set the labels for them. Can I do that? Because that's kind of what you want, I think. Do I have a class C somewhere, or what is it? I don't. Can I do something like, now I'm really starting to think, maybe I should have had a constructor. It seems more logical to pass the label here, like that. But okay, let's assume that we want to do it like this still. Set label. We have an A and a B here. That's the only members that we have. And then I have a class D. And here we have a B. Can do that. Set label B. And before that we have an AS. Set label AS. No set label in class A. In C, I mean. No, what did it say? No member name set label in array. Yes, okay. How many did it? Array.h. Yeah, more code duplication. It's horrible. That really sucks. Wouldn't it be much nicer if I just could add label here, like this? So public label, and same thing for the other ones. Hell, I don't have attributes for this thing. Wait, it's not even a node. I have to make it a node. Array memory region owner. Can I make that a node, or is that ridiculous? It's kind of a table node pointer. I don't think table node pointer is a node. It's more like it's certainly just a pointer. It's an item pointer. Const item pointer. It is a pointer to an item. Well, yeah, that is not a node for some reason. I think the word item might be confusing. Plus table node is the table. It would be ridiculous, I think, to derive this from label node, wouldn't it? Or not? Maybe not. Public label node. It uses the constructors of node, which I think demands that I pass a... No, it doesn't. What? Yeah, demands that I pass a root graph. I should pass a root graph. Well, no, not really. Only the one in main. As a class member, I can use this one. And then we have move stuff, copy stuff. I do have a root graph passed here already. So I can pass it. I don't have a what passed. Because that's kind of missing then as well. Yeah, if now it is a node, then I have to pass a what. So let's try this. I'm just adding a label node here. Although the label node has nothing to do with a memory, with a region owner, the memory region. It's just handy if this base class knows everything, including the label node. Might be handy to add it there. But until required. Let's do something that makes a little bit more sense. Namely, add it here. The array is a memory region owner and a label node, and of course an array. And then I can add that. This has a root graph, so why not add it? And then we have a what. You need a what. I'm gonna do a comma what. I'm not sure if I even support that yet. I don't think so. Outside of the actual test application, I think I don't have these macros yet. So let's just pass it as a string view these days. Label nodes. Node. Yeah, so this one. And in the case that we do not have a root graph, and I see that coming, kind of confused that I have a root graph in both cases. I would not have expected that for a class member. It seems something went wrong there. I don't think I should pass a root graph to a class member. Yeah, what's the difference between these two anyway? This one doesn't have an initializer list. Okay. For the rest they are the same. So this thing, oops. Label nodes must be repeated here. And I need to pass a what then, which I usually add to the end. So let's do that here as well. I think I can even add it after the initializer list. The why not and stuff. And then we should get compile errors because I'm not passing a what wherever I create an array at the moment. Start to compile it. Expected, what is this? Expected something. Expected class name. no mention constructor. I am trying to construct an array without passing a what. And I will want to pass the what after the initializer list, so there. And the what is then, I guess, equal to I already have a what here. I could say it's the what plus. I can make a temporary string, I think, even. See, this what is a string view. Let's try this. String as of plus string what. And then we have a problem here. Same thing. So we can just, well, actually I have to use the comma what here, of course. The comma, that what. This is then simply AS. That works. For some reason it became an ellipse, but well, I guess I just didn't add a shape yet. And why wouldn't it be? Because I'm going to add it's a special thing, right? So now we have this AS for that array, and this AS for that array. And the what says even what it is, I think. So if we look at, say, the dot, so this subgraph 8 here is an array memory region owner index container sets dot outer subgraph. What? Looks like a demangled type name actually. No, this cannot be. What is this? No, I want to see the other one. I added an AS thing somewhere. No, we lost it. How is that possible? Oh yeah, what is AS? Well, this is the one I added. That's the one in main. But I have one in D. This is D. Oh, here, that's what I meant. So it says AS of D. So of course the memory is AS and D is the class. So that's pretty descriptive for what it is. And of course I could do the same thing with this one. This would be more like B underscore of D. But it's just a test anyway. Great. And then the idea is that I'm going to add an edge now from this one to that and from this to that. Where the problem is that I have ports. A port is something that is hidden in the HTML, and I'm afraid that I just have one port per element. So I can point to an element, but not to an array. I would like to have an edge that points to the top here. I don't think that's possible. See, I have a port. Port 0 is just the whole thing, the whole cell. Yeah, maybe if I leave the I leave the port away and I just point to 4. It's just going to point to the center maybe of 4. There's no way to influence that. It should point to the top, and if I say port 0, then God knows where it is going to point to. Maybe the top, which I didn't even want to. But yeah, can't have everything, I guess. I have to learn how to add those edges to begin with. Let's add an edge manually and see what that gives me. So I want to have an edge from, let's use D, use D. This AS, so from 27 to, let's try 4 to begin with. 4 and then the top, port 0. No, wait a minute, this one is the one in main, I think. This is the one in D, so I need 23. Well, I can do the other one as well. That would be this one. So from 10 to 4. So that maybe that would be 2 possible edges. Let's see how that looks like. Oh, that's not how it works apparently. How do you add edges? Let's try that. Nope. Oh, I'm too lazy to figure that out. I have a graph. It's not directed. Let's try digraph, and then I had it correctly. No, that's not bad because it, it points to the top of the element. But yeah. No, what shall we say about it? C2 has lost his labels. C2 is supposed to be a copy of C, and I don't have my labels anymore. What's that? Oh wait, I never had labels. The labels are set afterwards. What? I lose my labels when I make a copy. That can't be right. That can't be right. And I'm going to eat like as soon as this works, which is in 2 minutes. Sorry, there was a copy of what? A class. So VI class. I added a label here. Class other graph, comma, label, other label. I guess if I move it, I also have to move the string. And this one. That's without a label, I guess. Although I could add one to the constructor. Theoretically, this level is just empty. And I added another one level somewhere, and that was into array, right? So I have to do the same thing in array, I guess. Just forgot to propagate the added label. Oh, not in array. Where did I add the other label? Oh, I moved it to the div. I made it a label node. Well, it's the same thing. I just forgot to do that, I think. Assuming that label node does it correctly, at least. Let's have a look. VI label node that has compiler generated stuff. No longer. Ooh, yeah. Oh. So because I have a label here, now I have to do it's going to use the default constructor of a label for the copy constructor of a label node. Because it's going to ignore label and just use the node, use the already existing copy constructor of a node. I'm not sure if this is being copied. The label in this case, I just don't know. I think it isn't, but it would be wonderful if it was. I just don't think so. And yeah, I'm not sure how to quickly test that. I mean, in my current lazy state where I want to make dinner. But even if it worked, then I still have to edit the array and fix that I might add a base class here. Or not, because also these are compiler generated, so that should work automatically already. Yep. Copy and move constructor and assignment, move assignment are compiler generated here, so they automatically took the level node with it. But I don't think it's the label is being copied. So there's actually a pretty fast way to test that. And now I think about it, why doesn't it not compile? was the problem? Initializer with delegate and constructor must appear alone. Okay. I don't understand the comment. Why would it be the same thing? I believe that was based, among others, on the fact that I could not move a graph, which I changed later. See, now I can perfectly move a graph now. Oh, copying a graph is not allowed. What? Well, moving is, so I don't understand that. Delete the constructor of graph. Yeah, I deleted a copy. No, what the hell, man? I want to call that one. I need to pass what? A new what? Or old what? Or what? Okay, I'm not passing the what at all now. We are losing the what. That's not good. Right. I forgot what I did or was doing. Yeah. Still lost labels on my members. Confusing stuff. Yeah, see, I'll know the C2 as a same level as C. So I keep my label. Yeah. But it's incorrect, of course. And I'm not keeping the labels on my members. So that didn't help. Why am I not keeping labels on my labels? That's because label node is ignoring it. That's the reason. Yeah. There was a change that I just made. Basically. Well then unfortunately I'll have to duplicate all the node constructors, which is a shitload. Ridiculous. So all these nodes, that's what we want to call. Yeah, so that's what we had, and then I want to tag after that label. Wait, but only if I have others, right? So label is default constructed, except when we have, in this case, I can just, well, I have to, I would rather say, move no.label. And here as well. And it's called other. Oh shit. No shit. I just forgot to rename these as well. Yep. Now they have the names of the members. I mean, this one already had, but the copy as well. Except that now C2 has a label C, because I never set a label C2, and then you would start to doubt it, right? It just, is that really what I want? No, it isn't, but yeah, I don't know what else to do. At least not at the moment, because I'm getting tired. Okay, that fixes it at least. Or fixes it between quotes. Okay. Yeah, and I said there was something that I had to test, so I'm going to do the same thing with an array itself, and then see what happens to the label. No, we just tested that already. But nevertheless, let's do it on the AS here in main. To make a copy. AS2 from AS. I do need to pass a what. I do no longer need to pass the root graph, because it just picks it up from AS. At least it should do that. And I probably want to set a level anyway. So what am I doing here? I don't know. Well, let's just see how that looks. or if it even compiles. Now mention constructor for initialization of array. Yeah, I just don't have the constructor for that. I need a copy constructor that takes an array and a what. Never added it. Yeah, but the array memory region only needs a root graph to be passed. So the I'm going to eat. That's what I want to say. Yeah. I'll be back later and I'll continue this in